So let me get over to the PowerPoint again first, and I'm going to just try to follow along with your reading and changing the pictures when you're ready to go on to the next one, and we'll just go through it. If you feel like, yeah, I guess we're just going to pretend like it's live, so don't worry about if you make a mistake, just keep going, and then when we get to the end and get the recording, then I'll just cut off all of this chatting that I'm doing right now.
Okay. And question, and at the end, I don't know if you noticed that I put a picture of Chucho.
Okay.
Can I say a few words about him?
Sure, yeah, definitely. Definitely feel free to introduce yourself if you want, to say whatever you want about the book or anything before or after. That's totally fine.
Okay. Well, I'll probably say it at the end, just that's what I'm most accustomed to saying to my students is at the end. I just always tell them, I hope you learned a lesson to be grateful for what you have. And I do mention my dog Chucho, and that's when his picture comes up.
Okay, sure, great. Yeah, and if the baby starts fussing, I will just mute the phone so you won't be able to hear me anymore, but I will still be here. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Rubber Shoes, A Lesson in Gratitude by Gladys Elizabeth Barbieri. Illustrations by Lena Safar. Translated by Liliana Cosentino. This book is for my mother, Sylvia. Where are we going, Mommy? I ask as I try to keep up with my mom's brisk pace. To buy you a new pair of shoes. Did I hear right? Did my mom say we're going to buy me a new pair of shoes? Yay-hoo! I shout with joy. New shoes. As we cross the busy street, my mom firmly holds my hand. My hand begins to feel sore from her tight grip, but I don't even care because all I can think about are my new shoes. Maybe I'll get shiny black shoes like Marilyn Jane, my best friend in the whole wide world. Or perhaps I'll get sparkly white sandals like Nikki's. Or ruby red slippers like Dorothy's. As I'm lost in my thoughts, I feel my mom fixing my not-so-fabulous bowl-cut hairdo, something I'll have to change soon, but for now I think of only one thing, my new shoes. And just as we enter the shoe store, I see the most perfect shoes for me. Those, Mommy, I yell as I point to the pink ballet slippers. Those are just perfect. My mom follows the direction of my finger and makes an expression that I can't figure out. And with a heavy sigh, she quietly says, "Those are too expensive, Gladys Elizabeth." "Too expensive?" I question. I quickly glance over the assortment of shoes. I see my mom pick a pair of shoes. They are the ugliest shoes with thick rubber soles and a red tag that reads sale. At that moment, I just want to hide and pretend to be invisible. As I try on the ugly rubber shoes, I try to make my mom understand that these are the worst shoes in the world. Doesn't she know that ballerinas don't wear rubber shoes? The next day at school, I pretend to be invisible in the hopes that nobody will notice my ugly rubber shoes that my mom bought for me on sale. "Hi, Gladys," Marilyn Jane greets me as I walk right past her. "Don't talk to me because I'm invisible and you are ruining it," I dryly reply. As soon as I get home from school, I go to my room to make a week-long plan to rid myself of these shoes. On Monday, I rub the bottoms of my rubber shoes as hard as I can on the sidewalk. Unfortunately, I quickly learned that these shoes are not only ugly but super duper sturdy. On Tuesday, I throw them in a puddle of mud only to find that my mom can't clean anything and that time out is no fun. On Wednesday, my little sister rides her bike across my shoes over and over again. That doesn't work either. On Thursday, I throw them over the fence and tell my mom that aliens took my shoes for a science experiment. In the middle of my fibbing, our neighbor appears at the front door with my rubber shoes in her hand. Did I mention that time out is no fun? On Friday, at the risk of spending the rest of my life in time out, I decide to get rid of my week-long plan to destroy my rubber shoes. Then one miraculous day, I put on my shoes and they do not fit. They are too small, and that is the honest truth. Once again, we make our way down to the shoe store. But instead of arriving at the shoe store, we end up someplace else. Mommy, what are we doing here? Mommy, what are we doing here? Let's go buy my new shoes, I say. Annoyed that my shoe shopping experience is being interrupted, I begin to fidget. My mom sternly squeezes my hand and gives me the "you're going to get it" look. I then noticed a little girl in tattered clothes who was a little bit smaller than me. My mom hands her a paper bag, and I watched the little girl pull out my old and ugly rubber shoes. But unlike me, who didn't like these rubber shoes, she smiles brightly as she puts them on. The little girl jumps up and down and gives my mom a big hug. However, for some odd reason, I don't feel as excited as the little girl, and once again, I pretend to be invisible. As we walk out, my mom grabs my hand and we head over to the shoe store. Yet this time, my enthusiasm for my new shoes is not that great anymore. The pink ballet shoes are still on display. Well, aren't you going to show me the shoes that you want? My mom gently teases. Still not knowing why I feel sad, I whisper, "That's okay, Mommy. You can pick them out." My mom gently squeezes my hand and kisses my forehead. However, all I can think about is the little girl jumping up and down. Perhaps my rubber shoes weren't so bad after all. And this is a picture of me when I was a little girl. On the bottom is my best friend in the whole wide world, Marilyn Jane. And guess what? We are still best friends. To the right is a picture of myself and my little sister, who I call Polka. And this is my other best friend in the whole wide world. This is my dog, Chucho. And right now he is celebrating and wearing his fancy hat, and so I like to call him Dr. Chucho Seuss, because he too likes to read lots of books. And for more information about me, please visit my website at www.chuchosbooks.com. Thank you for listening to Rubber Shoes, and I hope that you enjoyed and learned a valuable lesson to be grateful and thankful for everything that you have. And when someone gives you something, always say thank you from the bottom of your heart.
Thank you so much, Gladys, for reading that story, and we hope everybody gets to listen to other stories that are going to be playing throughout the day today.
Looking forward to hearing them.